Alright, I guarantee you this one's gonna be weird. SCP-666½-J. The Roaring Flames of Hell. This one's by SCP Illustrated, and he labeled it The Devil's in Your Butt. I don't know what to expect, y'all. You know, sometimes this Japanese stuff can get quite crazy. If it makes you queasy or whatever, just stop the video. I don't really know what's gonna be in it. If there's anything too graphic, I will probably... No, you know what? This is just a disclaimer, okay? Just this disclaimer. If anything's too graphic, I apologize. Without further ado, let's get into it, guys.
Good day, everyone, and on today's episode of What the Bloody Hell Am I Reading, we are checking out SCP-666½-J.
Graphic content.
Please forgive me. A thank you to the Council and Administrators, and let's get cracking.
Okay, y'all, just let y'all know.
SCP-666½-J is a crab-stuffed mushroom entree produced by the Internal Foundation catering service Containment Cuisine for the 45th Annual Site-19 Foundation Formal. Roughly 42% of the 1,500 attendees consumed SCP-666½-J and were subsequently affected by its anomalous properties. 666½-J's effects started to become apparent approximately 1 hour after the conclusion of the main course, at which time eventgoers began to complain of slight abdominal pain.
Turn it off now, guys!
By the second hour, many attendees were complaining of significant digestive distress, and all restrooms in the immediate vicinity were filled to capacity with extended queues.
Oh my god.
By the third hour, medical, investigative, and plumbing personnel were being flown in from surrounding sites to aid in relief efforts.
Oh my god.
Those who have consumed 666½-J say that it has an odd salty tinge to it, likely caused by an experimental salt substitute used in its creation. It has been theorized that this substance is the root cause of 666½'s anomalous properties, although food poisoning as a result of poor hygiene amongst culinary personnel has also been considered. All staff members affiliated with Containment Cuisine have been put into custody for interrogation purposes, as well as the individual's own well-being.
Oh my god.
When consumed by a human subject, 666½-J triggers 5 stages of localized K-class scenarios within the subject's digestive system. In its initial stage, 666½-J causes a brief period of mild nausea, followed by a sudden and urgent need to relieve oneself.
Oh my god.
However, the instant before the crucial moment of blessed release, 666½-J triggers a DK-class dominance shift, seizing control over the subject's nether regions and causing a major shutdown of all the subject's bodily exits.
Oh my god,
the deep carnal desire for release increases to the point that it becomes downright crippling. Subjects often experience shortness of breath, extreme jaw pain from the clenching of teeth, and mild bruising on hands from putting the rim of the toilet bowl in a death grip. After 15 to 20 minutes of the subject's intestines experiencing a level of containment rivaling that of SCP-106 and involving substantially more screaming, the subject will experience a brief RK-class rapture scenario, feeling a relaxation of the lower muscles, a wave of elation, and a fleeting hope that the worst has passed. Following this, the gates of hell open up within the subject's intestines as Satan himself violates the subject's anal canal with a pickaxe.
Oh my god!
A sudden SK-class scorched earth scenario completely raises the interior lining of the afflicted's digestive tract as unholy murder flame rages throughout in a demonic vortex at a temperature of roughly holy crap on a cupcake degrees Kelvin. Every happy memory, every recollection of peace, joy, or anything other than the sheer teeth-shattering agony is volcanically obliterated in a gastrointestinal supernova of biblical proportions. Subjects may experience blackouts or periods of lost time during this phase, their state of being reduced to a tear-blurred haze of torrential sweat, agonized wails, and desperate gasps for air.
Who wrote
This continues for the next 2 to 3 hours. It is common for subjects to briefly hallucinate during this stage, creating comforting mental scenarios in which they are violently murdered by various Keta-class SCP entities.
My god.
Any last vestiges of hope are crushed into tiny nubbins as subjects undergo a CK-class total containment failure, finally expelling the contents of their bowels in a magnificent riptide that could best be compared to a single large leak in the Hoover Dam.
Oh my
An unfathomable, vast expanse of liquid ejected at a rate fast enough to be upsetting, but not fast enough to be merciful.
Oh my god.
Subjects have described the experience as the digestive equivalent of one's life flashing before their eyes. with every meal eaten during an individual's lifetime excruciatingly funneled out in reverse chronological order. The downright baffling amounts of waste produced by the afflicted has led researchers to conclude that subjects' intestinal tracts are imbued with extra-dimensional or ectoentropic properties during this time. Ejected waste does not resemble good wholesome fecal matter in the slightest. Rather, it is a roast awful terror slush that is probably corrosive and almost definitely radioactive. The expulsion stage is usually fairly brief, but an anomalous temporal field created by 666½-J causes subjects to perceive the experience as lasting roughly 6 lifetimes. As the subject's ability to endure the emotional and physical trauma of the end of days inferno raging within their tendermost parts inevitably fails, 666½-J will enter its final stage, a UK-class universal collapse scenario, in which the subject experiences one final crescendo of gastric Ragnarok, followed by a blessed merciful state of unconsciousness. Subjects will awaken 1 to 2 hours later with full memory of their experience. However, a number of afflicted individuals have reported finding themselves moved from one location to another during the period of time between passing out and regaining consciousness. One researcher testified to having found himself in a nearby field, clean and fully dressed, and laying atop a pile of 1986 Time magazines, with no memory of how he arrived there. Subjects who undergo 666½-J's effects often bear psychological trauma from the event, as well as residual intestinal discomfort for the following fortnight.
I guess so. God!
Having experienced both childbirth and the effects of SCP-666½-J, I can safely say that I would choose the former any day of the week. SCP-666½-J is like having three babies at once. Except they're all on fire. Also, they're covered in thumbtacks and trying to eat you from the inside out.
Oh my god.
All the while the midwife is beating you senseless with a crowbar and screaming into your ear to push.
Dude!
I ordered the beef entree, and therefore cannot give any first-hand account of SCP-666½-J's effects. However, I can say with certainty that I've seen Keter-class containment breaches cause less pandemonium and widespread demoralization.
Oh my god.
It was, without a doubt, the second darkest night Site-19 has ever seen.
This is my third body since the incident, and I still don't feel like it's worked its way
Dr.
into my system
Bright!
yet. If you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go try for a fourth.
Wow!
Every passing week, I lose a little more hope of ever standing up straight again. I've stared death in the face, and is garnished with parsley.
Garnished with parsley?
Special containment procedures. A minimum of 7 on-site staff members of Abrahamic faith must be present in 666½-J's containment chamber at all times. 666½-J must not come into contact with any living organism without the written permission of a level 4 staff member. Weaponization and use of 666½-J in containment or neutralization of Keter-class SCP items is under review by the O5 Council. Incident log. On the 26th of April 2007, a small quantity of 666½-J was fed to an as-of-then harmless Euclid-class SCP object by researchers.
Oh my gosh.
The object has since shown extreme hostility towards anything resembling human life. Additionally, a mysterious substance of unknown origin manifesting on the floor of the SCP's containment chamber has created the need for routine cleaning.
Oh my.
Cross-exposure of 666½-J in any situation other than attempted neutralization has been prohibited.
Wow.
Addendum. Despite objections by the Ethics Committee, a meal of 666½-J was fed to SCP-682. At the apex of 666½-J's wrath, 682 threw his hands in the air and willingly left this mortal coil. Neutralization deemed successful.
It killed 682 in this canon?
And that concludes...
Oh god! He actually just willed himself dead. This was so bad. I would never imagine have read or listened to something before the SCP universe. Oh my god. This author, y'all. SCP Illustrated, y'all. Make sure to subscribe to him. Subscribe to me if you like reaction videos. Thanks so much for watching. As always, this is Zueljin signing off. We'll see you next time.